We are not getting 2 episodes at all. It would be phenomenal if we could. But, no. This is probably not going to be 2 episodes. This is probably going to be another 3-hour stream where I get, like, 1 episode. But, we have some things to do. Obviously, getting all the classrooms is one thing, although I don't think that's required. We know where the sanctum keys are now. I need to get the lighthouse again. Or not the lighthouse, the clock tower. Lighthouse? What the hell? Why would we have a lighthouse? We're in the mountains. We'll see. We'll see how it go. But, oh god, spin this on your cats. Yeah, no. I'll spend it on them for sure. For real. Yeah. I'll spend it. Yeah. They'll get, they have too many toys already, so they don't really need toys. I already have a frog hat for them, actually. So that's covered. My oldest cat loves milk. Obviously we give him lactose-free milk so it doesn't mess with his tummy. But, I'll give Jack some milk and, send a picture to Raxby of Jack enjoying the milk that Raxby graciously paid for. My, mother-in-law actually gave us, cat wine one time. Which was like salmon flavored wine. They did not like it. Shocking, I know. But they were not crazy about it. Yeah, Hemlock was in that game. That was crazy. That Hemlock just showed up like that. Let them order from Amazon with your credit card. Jack would just buy like food. Lynette would probably buy another house that she can live in away from her brothers. And Gil would probably buy something really stupid. But expensive. Boxes next to this box contain gems. Boxes next to this box contain gems. Boxes next to this box contain gems. Huh? No, Gil would not buy Miku products. The one that's most likely to buy Miku products is probably Jack. Because he would see that I watched a Miku video and he would want to connect with me and thus he would buy Miku products. No, Hemlock's not a real plant. There's no way. Absolutely not. Boxes next to this is gonna fuck me. This is gonna fuck me so hard. Boxes next to this box contain gems. If that's true, it means you. Boxes next to this box contain gems. True. True? False. So it's you! Get fucked. Give me your topaz. Oh yeah, I was looking at the newest releases on Steam a second ago, and I was scrolling through them and Morgan walked in and then I started talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, you should send that game to Leafy," and it was a game, let's say. Can't stick around tonight, but good luck for mini revelations tonight. Thank you, appreciate it. Here's hoping. I know exactly which one. You know exactly which one. It is on the popular upcoming. Hey, thank you for the follow as well. Appreciate it. Ah. 100% I know. Alright, yeah. Because I didn't even see it. I was just sitting there and then she was like, oh, look at that. I'm like, oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're not far enough over. We need to redraw. She needs to be thrown into an incinerator. Oh my god! I'm gonna tell her you said that. She's gonna be like, oh, Leafy's gonna throw me in an incinerator, huh? Fucking square up. Start rolling your sleeves up. She'll give you the old cheerwine 1-2. She doesn't even like cheerwine, which is wild because she likes cherry soda. You're just mad about her fanfics because she hasn't done a Judy Hopps one yet. Soon as she does Judy Hopps, you're in. I saw a sketchy massage too. Alright. Our first bit of something. Our book. The History of Orindia. This is a big deal. So, we have the censored version of this. But now we have the uncensored version. So, we are going to take pictures of all of these things. Jera, first king of Orindia, Oris. We gotta see what parts have, actually been censored. Second era, eldest he granted the fields, the middle province. The eldest accepted the gift and called his new realm Orinda Ares, to the angelic paragon of royalty Orinda. The youngest he bestowed upon him the realm of Arch Ares, the land of northern storms. That's important. A wild, untamed expanse which at the time was not developed, but a good deal more vast. And to his middle child, his only daughter, he gifted her the southern region of Araja, the mystical realm of the ancestors, a land steeped in tradition, magic, and the poetry of the old tongue. Okay, and then yeah, we get a lot here. As the Second Era drew to a close, the three sovereign realms had achieved a period of remarkable progress. Each of these distinct regions, ruled by their respective sibling monarchs, had blossomed cultivating resources. Sibling monarchs managed to retain friendly relations, continued that tradition in the Third Era, vast network of railways. Northern mountains of Arch Ares to the southern shores of Araja. This development facilitated travel and commerce. Okay. Orinda Ares into the Fourth Era, a different kind of ruler took the reins of power. This king who was often seen among the people. Desolates was renowned as the king of the people, and it was therefore no surprise when he made a decision to move the capital from the secluded mountains of Reddington to the public stage of Oris, leaving castle and court behind. People were overjoyed. Which took root in the lawns, in the gardens of nobles and Fens, extract to say the grand city of Fen. Died naturally of his old age. I'm kind of just skimming this right now because we really need to see what parts are censored to really get the important bits out of this, I think. But anything that looks like it has something about like how we identify what the various areas are. Step out and put into the Finsurrection. The brutality of the pacification of Fen did not go unnoticed. As sympathy for the city surged, allies came forward to lend support. General of the Northern Regiment. I think this was mostly censored. Who, sickened by the barbaric actions of the other battalions, joined forces with Prince Ilyrson to form a formidable army. Together, they leveraged their political influence and favors to persuade the nearby realms of Arch Ares and Nuance to join their cause. However, even with the tide turning in their favor, victory did not come easy. The War of the Fifth Era lasted 22 years and saw buried 1 in 3 men. Prince Ilyrson himself, however, even in death he had won. Oris had fallen, and with it the realm. The black flags that had flown for 5 eras were burned, and in their place red banners were hoisted in honor of the fallen of Fen. The few remaining members of the former royal family fled in fear of their lives. Okay, that has some important details in it for sure. I'm glad we got that. Now, I just need to be able to reorder a new book. But we have that one. So let's see if we can draft the bookshop really quick. Never lucky. Never lucky. I still need help with the gallery. But we'll continue on our classroom train, I guess. And let's grab the observatory. Alright, that's one clip for the YouTube. That's one clip for the YouTube. Get hype. Blueprints has been like the only thing going up on time the past few days because I had issues recording Pipistrello, and then I thought I fixed my issues with Claire today, and then found out after recording it and everything that or after editing it and everything that it looked kind of okay in the preview, but I couldn't tell because sometimes the preview just slows down on its own. And then when I watched the actual video, like, yeah, the cutscenes were messed up. Even the dialogue and stuff was getting desynced. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But I'm going to have to smash my head into that brick wall more tonight. More news at 11. Do I want the Nook? Commissary? We'll grab the breaker box. I guess I could have grabbed the commissary because we don't need money anymore. If I'm not getting the bookshop, then it's the dream is dead. Yeah, we got some progress. We got a wee bit. A wee bit of progress. Just a teensy. I mean, we might be able to succeed at getting all the classrooms. I've already filled in so many rooms, though, with no classroom. Corridor is always left unlocked. We don't need money, so I can take the chapel. Ooh, and you were nice enough to give me a gem. We stole from the church. I honestly don't think the commissary will really have much that will help me. I need gems mostly and rerolls, yeah. So I'm just gonna get rid of the hallway there. And then we'll go up here. God, getting progress in this game is a struggle. A big ol' struggle. What else we got? The garage would be nice for the keys. Yeah, I need them. I'll sacrifice a gem for it. Nothing else in here, not unless we have the car key. I can open the garage door, not that that helps me. Whee! I mean, it is like kind of a fast way to get back to the beginning of the house if I ever need it, I suppose. That part is kind of nice. And it made ambient music start playing. The soundtrack woke up because of that. I don't need to go on a drive. Calm down, music. Add an extra hallway. Good. I'll take it. Alright, kids, I'm gonna need you to start bringing gems to school, please. I require them. I require them, you see. Billiard room. I couldn't solve the puzzle last time, but I have a hypothesis about this. So, yesterday, I was sitting here looking at this and I said, you know, I don't know what this is all about. I saw my old video. The square root, when it was a square, was here. So this does mean something different. It doesn't mean square root anymore. And I don't know what it would be. Cause 13, like there's no way that's what it wants. And it couldn't be like 13 divided by 13 to equal, because then it would always be like, you know, maybe, I don't know, 13, 1, yeah, because then it would just be minus 20 minus 10, which would be 30. Yeah, what does this mean? I hate math anyway, but I especially hate math when I don't know the rules. Because this needs to be a big enough number that it can have minus 20, minus 10, and not be too big, basically. So 13 divided by itself would just be 1. That doesn't work. 13, you know, like minus itself, that doesn't work. What is there besides square root that this could possibly be? EO math is right. I hate math. I hate math. You're gonna have a really fun time with Slay the Spire though, because goddamn does Slay the Spire have a lot of math. So have fun with that, Oodles. It couldn't even be like, you know, like square root is like this times itself. It can't even be like this times itself again. Like, that is unfortunate. Yeah, sorry, Oodles. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. I've had to break out the calculator before using playing Slay the Spire. You'll get there though. Wait. What if it's that? 13? Maybe? 13 plus 13. Instead of doing square root. So 13 plus 13, 26. Minus 20. Leave you with 6. It's 10, negative 4? That's not it. No. I thought that might be it. I don't know though. What does this diamond mean? What does this diamond mean? This like actually sucks because I just can't do the billiard room puzzles anymore because I don't know what this expects of me. Proper unfortunate. Yeah, and I mean I don't want to just look it up because that seems boring, but yeah, I don't know what this means still. I thought maybe after cooking for a little bit I would have some ideas, but I thought about like I should preface that I'm just terrible at math in the first place, but I thought about like 13 plus 13. I tried that instead of like, you know, doing a square root. You just do whatever the identifier is here, you do that times the number. That's not it. Timesing it by itself 3 times, isn't it? Because that makes the number way too huge. It needs to be like a fairly sized number, but it can't be too big because it still needs to be low enough for minus 20, minus 10 to put it to something where it's on this board. So I don't know. Maybe Randolph will give me a note about the late, awful billiard room puzzles, and will save my life. Counting on you, Randolph. God, we love a good, nice, sexy saxophone, don't we? A good, nice, sexy saxophone. You know what? I hope there's a saxophone in Date Everything. Because I'll tell you right now, if there's a saxophone, I'm boning the saxophone. Just delicious. Quite frankly. There's so many things that have been coming out recently that I want to play, but God, so many of these games are sticking around. And they refuse to let go. And then I, like a fool, like the dummy I am, start new things. Please, don't tell me you wouldn't, Oodles. Don't tell me you wouldn't the saxophone. I mean, I'm going to try to play Date Everything. I want to. I definitely want to. We're gonna need to redraw again. Oh, great. It's the Rumpus Room again, and I can't draw it because I don't have any gems. This happened last time, too. I got the Rumpus Room draw, but I don't have the gems to get it because I'm trying to get all the classrooms. Hate. Hate. Alright. Oh my god, I can't even draw that. Hate it. Oh my god, even that costs something. Okay, we need gems, people. It's forced on both of you? Oh, I won't be streaming it? Alright, Leafy, I won't stream it in solidarity with you. If my friend doesn't goon, then I won't either. Let's go. Puppy. No, you gotta? Do I gotta? Play it for sure if you ain't streaming it. Oh, so you can goon. That makes sense. You can do it in peace then. Well, fuck. Well, that's run dead. Okay. We did. I did not get all 8 classrooms. We read the book, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. I did use a few of my stars, but we're still at 50, so. Call it. Alrighty. That is the end of day 57. Let's hear it for day 57. Don't show Ragsby the basketball court. Shh. They need to sleep. They need to sleep. Hush, little froggies, don't you cry. Quasi's gonna buy you a monster train. And if that monster train don't win, Quasi's gonna give you a draft you a God, what would they want in a draft? There's a lot of things they would want in a draft. Avarice? They like avarice. They like the Quasi's gonna draft you It's Alive. There we go. Or like Dante. There's a lot of stuff they like. Anything Dragon and Gold, yes. They love money. Every build, every run they do turns into money build. They can't help themselves. Den. Oh wait, yeah, that's the one they like, the Rage Heart. Yeah, they love Rage Heart. Yeah, Quasi's gonna draft you a Rage Heart. There we go. There we go. Ooh, let's grab the conservatory. Okay, conservatory time. Let's see. Ooh, I would love to adjust the weight room down to rare. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like to see the weight room. It's convenient because of the, you know, the whole 4 thing, but lose half your steps always sucks. So we're gonna confirm that. Observatory, Her Ladyship's chamber we'll put down to standard, just because I need to get there. So having it be more common would be useful. So that was a good conservatory. That'll put them to sleep for sure. Yeah. They're dreaming, they're sleeping peacefully and dreaming of winning all the runs. Okay, let's see if I can do this again. I can't do the billiard room, but I can still do the parlor, damn it. The empty boxes are both true. The gems are in the black box. This is not an empty box. This is not an empty box. The empty boxes are both true. The gems are in the black box. This is not an empty box. The empty boxes are both true, so that's so that must be false. The gems are in the black box. This is not an empty box. So the empty boxes are both true. That's false. Gems are in the black box. True. This is not an empty box. True. Gems are in the black box. If that was false, so that can't be false. And this can't be false. Or true, rather. Well, no, if this is false, then this has to be false, too. Okay, I think it's in the black box. I think it's in the black box. Empty boxes are both true. Yeah, that's just false, I think. Cue me not getting my gems. I got them. We nailed it. Ooh, the wine cellar. This is a perfect spot for it, too. Oh, but wait, I don't need gems anymore, because we're not... Okay. I got a little bit antsy, you know? I was thinking we were still needing classrooms, but we don't anymore. So, cool it, me. We don't need to worry about that stuff anymore. We're mostly looking for libraries right now. My kingdom for a library. Courtyard? No. We hallway. I need some keys is what I really need. Like, my god. I mean, I'll take the boudoir. Because this gives me yet another gem. I can't imagine how many times I forget to grab the free gem in the boudoir, and it's boudoir, study, and office. The study and office, well, not the study. What is the other one? The boudoir? Or was it? No, it is the study. It is the study. I don't get those too commonly, so... Oh, yeah, keycard. Alright. Wait, what did Oodles say? What is Oodles saying right now? Bum 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 bum. This must like me playing this on stream must be honestly the best sleep content possible. Oh, you're looking for a library. That is very oodles coded, yeah. That's very oodles coded. If a library is in Date Everything, oh, Oodles is going to bark for sure. Library Chan? It's gonna be like ferocious barks too, like rabid. Rabies. Or like, oh, I bet there is a bookshelf in Date Everything. There must be, right? Little nerd bookshelf, Chan? That must be in there. That must be in there. You can bun the book. There you go. What if it's like a math textbook, though? Key system settings. Set security level. Offline mode locked. That's fine. We have the key. I think we're gonna have another dead run, people. I think it'll be another dead. I think it will be another dead. Oh wait, we have the key card though. Hooray for key card. I'll take this. I'm sorry, Oodles. Did I ruin your fantasies of the book? I apologize. North Star, gain 1. Thank you. The veranda. Honestly, might just take this. The keys. How dare I? It's fine. There'll be more. What if there's like a ranch pizza you can bone? Okay, library. We got it. We got it. Let's see if we can get the bookstore. I did use my reroll, but we have a star. There is the bookshop. Alright. And we can rotate it. Because I would like to rotate it. Alright. Bookshop acquired. One thing I do need to go ahead and do... Well, no, we don't want to get any of this. Not right now. So if I buy a book, I have to remember this time to actually order it. I think you can order it same day. I'm not getting the billiard room because I will fail. I will fail. Maybe one day I'll have I'll get a note or something that helps me with that a little bit. Because right now I'm not seeing what it wants from me. I'm not getting it. Ooh, they don't cost any to draft. And it's just free? The veranda. Thank you. Okay. That's good. Now I just need more moolah. Please. And thank you. Locked. I'm so boned. Well, that's one way to get more moolah. I'll take it. Alright, Leafy, you might get to see that casino. Damn it, the broken lever was last run. Wait, we have enough, I forgot, yeah, the casino just gives you a shit ton of money. We have enough people. It's happening, it's happening. Garage for key? Garage for keys. Okay. Alright, if we could get... Well, the vault's crazy expensive. So I'm not going to be able to get the vault. But at the very least, we could get the Curse of Blackridge. At the very least, we could get that. Mailroom? Do I even have anything that's, like, useful here? Honestly, I might just take the mailroom, like, right now. Just end it. Because then I would have free items for tomorrow. No, let's keep it going a little bit longer. Battery pack could be useful, don't I? I do. Wait, it's not the battery pack and the magnifying glass? Shit, I thought it was. To make the thing that burns? Is it the compass that you need for that? Damn it. We do have the conference room, and this would spread money, but I can't afford it. I'll redraw once. That is useful, yeah. Nothing here? There's always something in the aquarium, I swear. This is fantastic choice for the cloister. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything in there. There's the classroom. Okay, I can at least get back here to the foundation if need be. Yeah, why not? Give me the archives. Marigold. There's no stranger to the public eye. Is there anything we can see here of importance? Here you are, like, wearing the necklace or whatever. No, nothing really. Yeah. Okay. Archives, we go this way. Archive floor plan, the gymnasium isn't the most useful. Alright, this is my last key. Not useful. I don't want the freezer though. Okay, the lavatory. Alright. Run is dead. I kept it going just to kind of see if we could get anything interesting. I have 46 gold, so we can buy the Curse of Blackridge and then order that from the library, so that is something. Hello, my darling little bookshop. The Curse of Blackbridge. Not Blackridge, Blackbridge. Okay. Because the place outside is called Black... Oh wait, no, it's called Blackbridge. I thought it was Blackridge. Okay. The Curse of Blackbridge by Redford Ewing. Alright, I don't have a planetarium or anything. I can't get to the... Well, I can get to the foundation, but the door's probably locked anyway, so... We'll just call it a day. I mostly just wanted to order that book. So... that... will do it for that run. The Garden Shopping Center of Tomorrow. Hey, Hikoje. Morning. Good morn. Alright, we are going to be starved for content as soon as I run out of books, by the way. The books are kind of all I have right now to go on. So as soon as the book well is dry, oh, we are so screwed. You won't even believe how screwed we'll be. I will take the hovel again. Oh wait, the hovel's not what I thought. Wait, I was thinking of the trading post. I feel that's so hard. Wait, is this? No, okay, it's not this one. The hovel was where the other one was. Okay. Wait, Mr. Ravine. Wait, Ravine was the groundskeeper? Ooh. Reva D was the old password. So, what was the name of the new groundskeeper? Okay, wait a second. So yeah, that's the note specifically. Okay. So I drafted the hovel, and we went back to the hovel, and there was a note in there talking about Mr. Ravine. So the groundskeeper was the one that also had the password set up in the grotto? Which strikes me as wild that the groundskeeper would be the one that would handle that. But if that is the case, that means the new password might be your name. Gardener's Logbook. Robert Nogula. So Nagu R? Nogu R? Let's try that. Reva D was the old one. So maybe that is what we need to do over here. It's kind of the best guess I have for how to get into Blackbridge. This is hilarious considering I just got the book for this. And we might be able to draft that in a second. But it's an idea. And I would like to try it. Okay. So... admin not found. Okay. And it's not... It was Reva D and it was Ravine. So it's clearly like first four of last name. And then... yeah, it was Robert. So that's not the admin. I just thought I would try it, since it does strike me as weird that Danny was the one that had the admin password there before. Groundskeeper and the person that runs like a server in the grotto do not seem like overlapping job things to me, but whatever. Okay, we need money. We need cash money for books. Let's go get our coin. Magnifying glass. Thought I saw something right there. Oh, billiard room. You scare me so much these days. This is a terrible setup, by the way. That still pisses me off right there. That still pisses me off greatly. Parlor. I can do the parlor. The gyms are in this box. This statement is of no help at all. The gyms are in the blue box. So true. Well, that has to be false because you're always helpful. Yeah, if that's true and this is true, that's impossible. So these two must be false. The gyms are in this box. The gyms are in the blue box. Because, yeah, you can't all three be true. One of you has to be false. So... false. False. True. I'll just... is it you? Fuck me. Could have... I thought I hadn't totally nailed it down there. But I wasn't sure. It's fine though. We just need enough gems to draft the library and we're good. We just need enough gems to draft the library. This is also probably going to be a quick run because not only do I have the hovel, we wasted a bunch of steps running around outside. Greenhouse, you're more likely to draw green rooms while drafting. Sure. Hit me with it. Ooh, the metal detector. Thank you. And 2 gems. And then, yeah, that's just a music sheet. Oh. I did not realize I made that dumb mistake. Whoopsie. That's a day end. I saw the greenhouse and took it, totally forgetting the fact that yeah, I need an opening to go some of these other places. That was kind of a terrible setup though, and I did waste a bunch of steps at the beginning, so whatever. Whatever. At the point where I'm sort of done with blueprints, but I barely scratched the surface of all the things you're doing. Yeah, I mean, like... It's weird because, like, yeah, I could be done at this point, but... I'm like, I wanna try and see. It is very hard, though. I love it, and I love looking into all these things. It's super fun. I love this kind of stuff. Silly 17-hour game before Quasi has 38 hours. Yeah, I mean, most of the reviews and stuff said it was like a 40, 45-hour game, which is looking like it's about to be right. You know, given my current playtime, that's looking to be accurate. Yeah, bringing yourself to do all the things can be hard. That's why I specifically asked someone in the Discord, you know, like, is it even feasible for me to try to do these things? And they specifically said there's like 3 tiers of like stuff that you need to solve, basically. And I'm guessing the Sanctum doors would be tier 2 of that. And possibly the 3rd tier would be the red room that's down there, but I don't know. Enjoying watching videos of like I just solved the mystery of X by drafting Parlor 500 times in a row. Yeah, people are going pretty crazy with it. And said that only this game is a game that only masochists enjoy. Yeah, no. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That's kind of roguelikes in general. The gems are in the only true box. Only one statement is true. Gems are in the blue box. I would say the masochists are more about like Jump King and getting over it with Bennett Foddy and stuff. This doesn't feel quite as masochistic. Gems are in the only true box. Only one statement is true. The gems are in the blue box. Only one statement is true. The gems are in the only true box. So, false? False. True. Fuck. Alright. I took it too fast. I took it too fast. But I've done so many of those at this point. I can't sit here and agonize over every one. Lorelei is for people way smarter than me, as is this game, but through sheer smashing my skull into this game, we've managed to get somewhere. And due to how incredibly hard I make sure I stay unspoiled, I've gotten to this point without anyone helping me in any way, which is cool. Because I know there's comments on the YouTube videos that are probably like, oh, you can do this thing, and I'm like, no, I don't want to know that. I want to find it out. I want to find it out. I want to discover. That's part of the fun. It's like the people that came in the Tunic videos and were like explaining stuff about Tunic, and I'm like, I really don't want to hear stuff about this game. Like, the fun part is finding out about the stuff. That's the fun part. Like, I think the same thing about Souls games. And some people are like, no, I play a Souls game with a wiki open at all times because I need to know what weapon is best for my build. I do not bother with min-maxing in Souls game. For me, the exploration is so much of the fun of Souls games. If someone just tells me where all the best weapons are and all the spells and stuff are, holy hell, that is boring. Here we go. Maybe glad I had a PS Plus or whatever, because otherwise I might not have played it. Yeah. Those kinds of things are good for that. I don't know the eating apple trick. It's true. It's true. If you eat an apple and spin around 3 times and spank yourself on the ass, the ghost of Herbert Sinclair appears and gives you a sanctum key. It's pretty crazy. Little, rarely known, you know, Easter egg, I guess. You should spank yourself just in case. No worries, our Souls co-op is going to be randomized. Oh yeah, it will be randomized, won't it? Oodles does the trick a lot? Do you, Oodles? That's crazy. For good measure and lore implications, yeah. It's kind of like, I could legitimately see Oodles sitting down one day and just being like, okay, so I was scrolling on my For You feed and I saw this absolute just snatched hottie in Dark Souls. And now I've decided that I'm going to play Dark Souls. And it's like, yeah, what got Oodles into Dark Souls is because she saw art of like sweaty, muscular Pontiff Sullivan, and she was like, yeah, no, that's what I need in my life. It's okay, Heart Trip. Mine is too. My blue sky is like, oh, cool. There's some cool art here. There's a game dev talking about their game. That's a penis. You know, it's just a lot of that. Yeah, Oodles would Cleric Beast and probably Gascoigne as well. Alright. That's a screenshot. That's not a stream marker. There we go. Alright. The Curse of Blackbridge by Redford Illing. Thanks for gifting this book, Simon P. Jones. Legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I've heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised how much of the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1, The Berry Picker from Oris. I should be taking pictures of this, by the way. Screenshot. And screenshot. And screenshot? Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst. And for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed. Each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. Not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any road out. An easy and well-traveled road, paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, that notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances... Oh, hey. Hey, thanks for the raid, Time Wanderer. Were you also playing Blueprints? Hope your stream went well. Appreciate the raid. I'm reading a book. And I'm slowly but surely making my way through Blueprints. We're getting there. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. It's long. It's long. It's a long one to raid into. For sure. But yeah, hope your stream went well. Hope much progress was made. I haven't made progress in a long time, but I'm trying to stay as blind as I possibly can here. So, yeah. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted, and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthest most berry patches without worrying of being chastised for tearing upon his return. At least it doesn't seem to be one of the depressing ones. Watch it be depressing? Yeah, it might get there. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, and even patience has its limits. But even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set out to fill his basket and was making steady strides in the task when the sounds of thundering hooves interrupted him. Interesting. Hey, finally caught a stream. Been following all your YouTube vids. Hey, welcome in. It's always nice to see people come in from the YouTube and stuff. Welcome in, welcome in. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept towards the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment before the sound's source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle. Flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. My god, this is a lot of reading. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. How? Oh, Jesus Christ. We're gonna be here a minute, people. We're gonna be here a minute. You boy, get out from behind that bush, he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. Startled me half to death coming round the bend of my own drive and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not be any face. Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior. Not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was just picking berries. Jesper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with, and many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? Used to pick berries here as a boy. Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. I know, and what luck I found them. I've only just begun picking, and look how many I have. Would have taken me 4-fold the time back home to procure this number. The driver bent down for a closer look. Where is your home, boy? It must be quite far. Jesper replied with a scripted response. A little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods. Oh my god, that's far. Couldn't have come all that way only this morning. Auditioning as an audiobook narrator. Yeah. We're trying. We're trying. Was true. Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had traveled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location similar to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. Sir, I've traveled much further for less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth the undertaking for a price such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself? Jesper felt happier with this response as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. My youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far. And even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. Let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste and memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. And at the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat. cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes. "And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth." The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. "Not mistake me, sir. I'll not kill you if you give me no cause, though I will admit, the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me." Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. "Why have you no purse upon your person?" The driver suddenly slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing towards the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. "There's a lockbox in the carriage." "Well, come down then, and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands. Concession, I assure you, of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat." The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree, where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smiling kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. "I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you're showing me?" Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it. Oh wait, no, that was yeah. Secured the final bindings and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. "There's no lockbox, there will be no clemency." Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since the passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a Liviard, that's one of those words that I've seen read a lot, but have not heard. Liveried? Servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all four sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Arindian hands. Reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Liveried? Ah, that's how you say it. Interesting. Yeah, it's one of those, I've read it so many times, but it's like, who says that in normal conversation? So I haven't had the opportunity to hear it spoken aloud a lot. Like the livery, but without the D. Liveried? Oh, yeah, I said, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock, and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. "Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box?" Without emotion, the driver replied, "There is no key to that box." Jesper stood up. "Easy enough, then." He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there had been a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly through the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again turned. "You're cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You opened that which you never should have opened, and you are cursed." Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. "What is it?" "That's one." Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. "One what, you mumbling agenter? And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person?" The man did not seem intimidated. "One pace." He paused for effect. 12 more and you'll be dead." He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculpted stone statue, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had, of course, heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do, to be discovered here, beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could very well not be real? No. It would most certainly be better to face one's fate now. Take a dozen paces and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about him for a solution. And if, by some stroke of luck, the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him as if he had found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4. Perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. Yeah, I would just jump every single... If I only have 12 more steps to take in my entire life, yeah, you bet I'm jumping. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task seemed too great to chance. And so after a profound breath, he took his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th steps. They were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If on the other hand the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was after all found within a lockbox, whose typical function of secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand let go. If it is cursed, I die. Not today, then tomorrow, and if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud, to the horses seemingly, Jesper took up the reins with confidence. Part 2, Below the Black Bridge. Oh, we are schmoving, people. Okay. Let's take a sip of drink. Let's take a sip of drink. Yeah, no, it should just roll everywhere. Just roll everywhere. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. Taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on 3rd watch today, quietly collecting her things and wits. Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend, who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked towards the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than the gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia and nodded and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There's not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on 3rd watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the Unholy Hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy? Never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Blackbridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris and Reddington. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. The day there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, suddenly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quickly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long before Miller, too, heard the sounds of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers. A few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge was an unusual sight. Typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge. Information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. Perfect bedtime story? Yeah, the whole playing Blueprints on stream in general is a good bedtime story. Commenting there's enamored with your voice will be very happy. I don't know if they're watching Blueprints, but... The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses. Faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage. Cautiously approaching the bridge to cross, instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia had gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing toward the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. The third arrow was now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Okay, so yeah, Jesper's dead. I mean, it might not quite have been 12 paces, but, you know, you're done. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the Unholy Hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher. God, what an edgy name. Led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child tails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever heard in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness, pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed 2 bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. 2 bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Fodrick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Okay. Huh. Interesting. That is a incredible amount of pages to take pictures of. Like, that's kind of crazy. Interesting. And yeah, it has a dozen variations. Okay, well, I don't want to have to order the book anymore. So I am going to take screenshots of every single one. Yep, that was the end. The silent group of bandits got found out. And our friend Jesper did indeed die. Give that story 6 booms. Okay. I mean, that didn't give me any actual information about how to get into Blackbridge. So I still need to find that out by exploring some more. But, yeah. Yep, got his whole group cursed. Delivered the effigy right to them. It's kind of interesting that it seems like it just needs to be there in general. It's not like they need to touch it, unless like every single member of the group all touched it. Okay. Well, there we go. The Curse of Blackbridge. Now we continue and try to get money for a new clue. And then that's the final book that we need. Well, I didn't get the bookshop anyway. So this might just be a dead run. 'Cause, yeah. There's not really much else we need to do right now. I do need to put all of my notes together about the rest of the Sanctum doors. And see what we can possibly do about that. But I kind of want to get these final books. And then just have a video of just the books. What is my... outside? Whoops. Sure, secret passage. I've already done the Chamber of Mirrors. So it is the trading post. So if we could... get the light thing. Maybe we could try something with that. I'll take a hallway, please. Thank you. The foyer. Sure. I'll take the foyer. Don't need the classroom right now. Definitely don't need the coin purse. This run is so dead. This is a terrible layout. But like I said, we don't really need much right now. So it's kind of whatever. Sure. Come on, Terrace. So I'm not going to think about it too much. If I get the clock tower, that would be ideal. Clock tower would be phenomenal. Because then at least I could, one, get the buff from it, but also check it for the Sanctum keys. This is such a terribly spiraling path that we're taking. Wait, my gym. Thank you. Gotta get my blood diamond. No, we're redrawing that. Yeah, sure. Give me the chapel. Look, I can even steal some money from the church. Okay. Then I do have a key card, right? So we could go up there. There's one more. What the hell was that noise? I think that was wind. I think it was just the wind. Oh, wait. Oh, I do have a key card, but I turned off the doors. Damn it. I need security. Why did I turn off the doors? Yeah, they know I'll give it back. Yeah. I definitely plan to give it back. Always did, honestly. Let's just redraw that. Come on, just give me something to... You're killing me. I'll take the locksmith. Like I said, this run is kinda dead. Are you sure you can't just, hook me up with the Sanctum key, locksmith? Honestly, I'd take Secret Garden too, though. Silver key? Wow, thanks. This would have been a good opportunity to get the, freezer as well. But now if I want to get up north past the foundation, we have to, do some stuff. Kennel, puppy time. Hey pups. I'm going to dig here. I got a rock. Still don't. God, why did they have to get so hard? Open. Ooh, that's actually possibly useful. Okay. This run is pretty much dead. But we did get the conservatory. So I can change how often these things appear. I want to be commonplace, honestly, because that's a pretty good effect. So that one's good. Clock tower is pretty good. I'll move you back to standard. You are a dead end, which sucks. But, I want to get you. Ideally. Yeah, I mean, the code check's really all I can take, and there's nothing in here that I care to grab. So, no, I am good. Alright, terrible run. But, We read a book. I can at least say we have one video for the YouTube out of this hour and a half just because I sat there and read for like 30 minutes. That's a video. That's a video. Save and continue, save and continue. 2 more to go. God, I wish. Yeah, no. I definitely was a little bit gym starved. A wee bit gym starved. All right, I'm hoping this run classrooms again. Classrooms again would be dandy. And I'm going to have to be careful with my parlor puzzles. Since I've been trying to go too fast on some of the recent ones. We haven't been in the tomb in forever. Give me the tomb. It gives me money. It gives me money. We haven't been down here in forever. And I do wonder if you can find some extra stuff in the tomb by like lighting candles. Because we've already done the other thing, of course, but give me my money. Yep. Definitive dead end. Or is it? No, it's not, because it goes that way. Yeah, there wasn't anything else in here. I remember seeing these, like, tea lights as well. And thinking at the time, what if that's something, but I don't think there's anything else going on down here. Although, I could absolutely be incorrect. You're suspicious as all hell, I will say. Oh, if we get the lighter, I will come back down here just to see. Let's reread your note. Wish we'd been buried beneath the great oak. Shrine upon the spot to commemorate the moment of your liberty, to treat the sepulchre as hallowed ground, to realize that grand gestures can be as effective as they are theatric. And so, in turn, as recompense for the freedom thus granted you, commit yourself to be buried here, in the mausoleum. Yep. You want me to be buried here. I don't have a shovel. Digging stuff up in a crypt seems, kind of messed up anyway. Okay. Back in. Like I said, we have a video. That is something. No car keys. Gems are on the table behind you. Well, that's a lie. The gems are in this box. Every statement claiming where the gems are is false. The gems are in the blue box. So... false? I mean, that's like verifiably false. False. This could be true. Everyone claiming... See, now we have situations where sometimes it seems simple, but I doubt myself. Because I'm like, well, it seemed simple before, but then there was more to it. Every statement claiming where the gems are is false. The gems are in the blue box. Okay, I see. So, that means that's not true. So this is false. This is false. This, well, no, that's impossible. So this just is a false one. So that's not true. So false, false. So it must be in here? Oh, I'm scared to look. Okay. Okay. We got our 3 gems, it's fine. That is a potentially not great spot for the library. I also need to get the bookstore, so ideally I'd start trying to draft from the library once I have the, whatchamacallit. Okay, come on, give me some Randolph letters. Give me some Randolph letters. Come on, Randolph. Yes. Okay. While drafting, if you draw a drawing room. If you draft a red room. Okay, while drafting, if you draw a drawing room, a letter will be delivered. Alright. Cool. We got the one we wanted. Randolph? Come on, Randolph. I need good stuff, please. Please, I beg you. There's the library. Definitely don't want that. I will take the conservatory, though. What do we have to mess with? Planetarium, boiler room, conference room. Conference room, I would like... Because that's just a good one. I'll turn the conference room into common. Boiler room is like... fine. We'll put the boiler room as a standard. Planetarium, I'm not that crazy about, I'm gonna be honest. So that can stay. It's a dead-end room. Its effect isn't terribly useful, since we've already hit 50 anyway. The den. For a gem. Going to need some keys out of you. Please and thank you. Sucks to waste my corridor here, but... A letter has been delivered! I won't put that in the video. We don't need to. I'll just read all my letters once we get to the mailroom. Yes. Give. And den. Storeroom. I mean, honestly, yeah, just give me this. It's just a better version of the den. Thank you. God, it would be so crazy to go back to my humble beginnings at the start of this game now. Seeing myself zoom through. Because I've been through this so many times at this point. Another letter has been delivered! Oh, this is going well. This is going well. And a key card? Well, now I want the security room. Now I want the security room. Conference room? Honestly, not a terrible spot for the garage, so I think I will play the garage. I feel like there's never extra items in the garage just like laying around. It's always just the stuff that's, you know, like in the trunk. Alright, we do have to play some more basketball. But we are good. And I have a lot of money for if the, whatchamacallit shows up. Whole lot of cash. There's security. I wish I had drafted you over there, actually. Let's just do the chapel, but I'm not gonna walk through it unless there's money in there. Doesn't appear to be. Yeah, that's more what I'm talking about. Thank you. Let's go ahead and adjust this to the max amount of security doors because I have a key card. Back. Exit. Okay. This way. Bedroom, passageway. Just give me the nook. So I can just grab my 2 keys and be on my merry. And here. Alright, we are starting to hit the point where that is going to be a problem. I will take that. We don't have a shovel. Thank you. Was hoping you would give me that. Appreciated. Okay. Wanna try and get back down here. There is the library. I do not have rerolls though. But let's draft it. Not go in yet. Go this other way. Fill in as much as we can. If I can just get the boudoir, we'll be good. I just need to get it. Boudoir, please. I'll take the wine cellar. And we will dig in the wine cellar. A dirty, dirty coin. Alright. Commissary. Kinda don't want to waste my money. Or my gems too. My kingdom for a boudoir. Spread in each green room? Yeah, sure, it'll just go to the conference room anyway. I'm fine with that. And a turnip. You imagine poor Simon just digging a dirty turnip up out of the ground and just eating that shit right there? What's wrong with you, Simon? Just a raw turnip, dirty right out of the ground. Did you just start munching on that thing? Foolishness. I'm just gonna take the closet right here. Hey, a sledgehammer. I don't remember if we ran into any trunks. Honestly. So we will continue this way. Thank you. Thank you. And then I got some of you. Some of you. We have a Blueprints theme park with people selling salted turnips. I dream of the day. Would be wonderful, wouldn't it? I'm going back this way. We'll go through the chapel now. Salted turnips, get your salted turnips. Don't go running out of steps while exploring Mount Holly. Get your turnips. Spread. Bedroom, not what I need. Not what I need. Alright, I think we're going to be forced to, do that. And this only spreads money to the maid's room and servant's room. So the office isn't going to be crazy useful. I do get a gem refunded for putting it here, but at that point you might as well just put down a bedroom. And at least see if there's anything in here. No. All your favorite gym mascots in all the colors. As long as Swimbird is there too. I need Swimbird to be the mascot that you take pictures with at the beginning of the park. Swimbird simply must be there. And then on all the signs too. Well, we got it. Well, we got it. I'm taking that. Trophy room is always tempting, but we got to get ourselves a new clue. And now if we ever get the bookstore again, we can just get like drafting strategy. A New Clue by Marion Marigold. Hidden swimbergs all over the park, and there's only rooms. Seen the real one? Yeah, they're just everywhere. Oh, that's a dead. Oh, that's a dead end. I mean, at least we got the. At least we got the bookshop before that happened. So we got what we cared about mostly. This is going to go absolutely nowhere. This is why I wanted my boudoir. Done. Okay, but now we can easily hop into another run and get ourselves some more reading done. Another Marion Marigold classic. Alright. Cool, cool. It's something. At least I have a video. So I will have something to put up tomorrow. Well, besides the other 3 things that are going up, but you know. Money, 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 money. I thought maybe I would get a little bit closer today. Like some of those would be like really crazy things that give me all kinds of answers to every problem I've ever or question I've ever had, and they've been all right, but not that crazy. The reveals that we've had. Bum 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 ba da 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 dun dun dun. Do 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 do. Okay, so we're here. Nook. I have to work tomorrow, or I have to work this weekend too, so that extra sucks. So I'll be working tomorrow and Sunday. So that'll be fun. Oh wait, there's the library. I could have just started reading. I would have just had to sacrifice this room back here, but my brain was against it. Wait, did I get the I mean, I can't get the classroom anyway, but I did get the schoolhouse, yeah. Okay, so we can try to get all of those. Which means I definitely need to do this parlor. Gyms are in the blue box, the gyms are in the box next to this box, the gyms are in this box. True, true, true. So that's impossible. Because all of these can't be true. So the gyms are in this box, false. False. Gyms are in a box next to this box. So the black one. Wait. Yeah, okay, I got it. I doubted myself for like a second because I just did it too quick. I was like, uh-oh. But then no, we got it. It's fine. Calm yourself. Din does mean more of that. Okay, over here. Classroom is a good. We can do a classroom. We have the gyms for it. There is the library. Kind of the best time. Let's do it. All right. Our new book, A New Clue by Marion Marigold. Graciously gifted. Sundial Publishing, 1988. Maybe that's important. All he needed was to find a new clue. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. If he knew what to do, he'd likely tell you. For you are looking for a new clue too. You bet your ass I am. So this is probably talking about the detective, right? He had retraced his sketches and studied the files, reviewed all his cases and gone through the piles of the evidence present and precedents evident, and retraced his steps as it stretched on for miles. He had looked high and low in all of the rooms. He had searched every corner in each of the tombs. In this particular case, he had checked every space. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. Keep left? Interesting. He looked and he looked under beds and in nooks. He questioned the maids, he questioned the cooks. It was already over when he spoke to the chauffeur, who told him new clues were only found in books. To Tanner Fork. So tome after tome that the library loaned and the books that he had he already owned were searched from their covers all the way through. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. Yeah. Wait a second. These all have arrows in them. Every single one. Except for this one, I guess. Well, no, because the Route 9 is pointing down. Down, right, left, right. He changed all the letters and the lines that he found. He checked all the colors on the spines that were bound. He doubled the meaning of each seasonal greeting and found that the diction of each word was sound. What in the 9? Right. Draft the 6s. Shifted extras, the fixed... Oh my goodness. Okay, and this says right again. He stayed up all night and studied the maps. He laid out the floor plans and measured the gaps. And if his directory was considered a trajectory, it was nothing short of a full mental lapse. Okay, there's not an arrow here. A man obsessed in Cuckoo 2, they would say as he would wander through. The best medicine is not yet evidence. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. And having read this book so many times, having scoured over each of its cryptic lines, have you exhausted your search? Have you seen all the signs? Yes. Oh wait, and then there's the underlined thing in like the hovel or whatever that says no sign has been found. Oh, look at that text. I need to be able to read that. I need to be able to read that text with a magnifying glass. Or is there perhaps something new, something overlooked but now in view? Have you finally found it? Could it really be true? If it's a new clue, you know what to do. Suspect is minor, the suspect is minor, the suspect is major. Okay. That is weird. Okay, so there's some stuff to glean from that. We have like various signs. In my earlier statement, it was a much better bedtime story, 10 out of 10 pros. Yeah, it was great. So Route 8, so down, right, keep left to Tanner Fork, right, because there's an arrow there. Record, wait. Route. Depart. Corner cases. God, there's so much here. This is an important one. Route depart. Route depart. Keep left to Tanner Fork. Right. Dead end. Record each stop. Record each stop. Route 8. Part. Keep left. It's Tanner's Fork. Nothing here is particularly important. It's just a children's book. Oh no, there's important stuff here for sure. Like, it makes so much sense from so much of the context. Because we know this is just a book Marion wrote about the detective that's currently looking for her. Mary Lore. And record each stop. Suspect is minor. And that's a blue note, so I definitely need to look at this again with the magnifying glass. So if I could find a magnifying glass and come back over here, phenomenal, quite frankly. Gift shop, I don't care about, but you're a good one to have right here. That's could be a good spot for a classroom, but if I want to keep drafting the classrooms, I need gems. So, oh hey, the battery pack. That might be useful. Okay. There's another classroom. Do I take the den? No, we take the classroom. We take the classroom. Oh, I'm gonna be so excited to get the opportunity to take the test, and I'm going to bomb it. It is going to take me right back to being in college. It's going to be great. Just you watch. Do I have a key card? Inventory, battery pack, no. So I think I take the bedroom here. It's the highest grade you've reached before. I've reached 8 once, and I didn't have the final classroom unlocked from the drafting studio. I unlocked it that run, and then I saw it in like one of my final draftable locations, but I was missing the gem to actually make it. So I almost got them all. But we've made it up to 8 once. And I've been trying in vain ever since to get them all again. Ooh, Terrace would be good. That would save my gems. And you gave me a gem. Thank you. Okay. Down this way. Ooh, I really don't want the Great Hall. No thanks. This is potentially setting me up for disaster, but quite frankly, I can't reroll, and that's the best option here. So we're on to grade 3. Oof, what a fantastic spot for that hallway. My god. No notes. Wouldn't change anything about you, hallway. Another classroom. Okay, now we just have to work ourselves out of that corner down there. Which might be hairy. admittedly. Might be a little bit scary because I'm going to need a curved room and then I'll need a straight one. Do we still have the spare bedroom? No, we don't. Oh, thank you for saving me, conference room. Alright. We just need something. Hallway. Like, come on. Come on. West Wing Hall, you absolute beautiful thing, you. I love you too, West Wing Hall. Not a terrible spot for the dining room, because we will have to come back over here pretty easily. This is a good path. Also give me my lunchbox. My munchbox. Alright, now we're gonna start running into key issues though. So these classrooms need to start coming. And they don't stop coming and they don't stop coming. Because we're going to start getting resource starved. Not steps at least, but everything else, yeah. Mechanarium. I would love to be able to do the billiard room, but I still don't understand what it's doing there. Mechanarium, we do not have enough. Yeah, we don't have any. We don't have any. Redraw. Boiler room costs the gym, so absolutely not. Another classroom is kind of spooky. It works though. Obviously don't want the dark room. Wish I had staff that would make fun lunchboxes. Yeah, being rich must be nice. We got the magnifying glass! Okay, we can go back and read the book. We can go back and read the book. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things we can zoom in on that. The study. That is wonderful news. Truly, truly. There is another classroom, but I will now be out of gyms. I would love to get the indoor nursery, like, now. That would make my day. Because nothing costs anything. Okay. Redraw? I can redraw a lot, so... Ooh, corridor would be good, yeah. I will take the corridor. Dovecoats. I would love the commissary because I have 40 coins and nothing to spend it on, but I can't afford that. So, Dovecoat, I'm just gonna need you to... Oh, wait, it doesn't ever go the way I need it, I don't think. Yeah, because it goes that way. Oh, wait, no, this works. Never mind. Never mind. I was doing it based off of the actual perspective. There's been a gym in here before. Will one of you dorks give me a gym? No. I'm bullied by these pigeons. Or doves, not pigeons. What am I talking about? Can't afford it. I mean, I'm not using this money for much right now anyway. Okay. How many classrooms do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we only need to draft 2 more. But I need gyms to do it. Well, speak of it. Okay. Alright. Now I just need to draft some gyms. Our pigeon's a kind of dove. I know nothing about birds. I've constantly joked that I've created a community of people that are just way smarter than me that can explain and answer any questions I have about any topic. That's why I have a bug expert. Um, just all kinds of experts. Gotcha expert, basketball expert, puzzle expert, Monster Train 2 expert. You know, got a little bit of everything. Any question I would... Damn it. Alright, that is run dead. So, yeah. That be the dead run. But we got our new book. And I do have a magnifying glass, so we can head back to the library and we can see that. But that is pretty much all I've got. Yeah. Yeah, we got that. Gotta go this way because I did a futz here. Bum 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 bum. It's quite a hike back here. I mean, if there's some good stuff in here. There we go. Alright. New marker. Oh god, 6th grade was too much. Okay. New clue. Alright, there's so many wonderful things we can zoom in on. I don't think there's anything here. Yeah, this is all just scribbles. Except for the Route 8. That might be important. Alright, what does this say? Dead cases. Lavatory. I'll take pictures of all of these things to just have in my notes. Dead cases. Corner cases. And then, what does this say? Suspect list. Give me that. And then there's nothing... That does say depart. Okay. Yeah, that's everything from that page. Here... Doesn't look like there's much. I mean, I think there's stuff on this, but there's all the fruit. You're talking to the house staff. It's a Tanner Fork. What does this say? Draft the sixes. Tender Cipher, Lunar renamed Uncle Ow? Uncle Aw. Okay, not much here, but there might be some stuff going on. Record. Nothing there. Each. Okay. Okay, now this is the page I really wanted. Major. Okay. What in the nine hells are you on about, detective? Assume page count starts on title pages. Red, green, violet, blue. Page... Oh my god. Oh, we're gonna be doing some ciphering. Library, the way. XYZ ABC. Okay, okay, okay. And then there's more stuff right here. Dead end, major key. XYZ ABC. Seen all the signs? Whoa. Oh my. goodness. And yeah, there's nothing to get there. Wait a minute. That might not be what I'm thinking of. Wait, what is this too? The Metro? Fenaries Metro? Okay. The suspect is a key. On the way. Okay. Suspect is minor. The suspect is major. The suspect is minor. What in the world? No, it's fantastic. It's cool in the same way that like Tunic is cool in a lot of the same ways, where there's a bunch of like really simple stuff that you see, and then it turns out that there's just so much stuff going on. That's why I love these types of games so much. Okay, so we have a few things here. So you're saying something about library, the way through. I can't actually read what that says. Their covers? Is that what that says? Like the covers of the book? I can't read that. Like library, the way through. Because covers makes me think, assume page count starts on title pages. Red, page A, word, page, okay, assume page count starts on title pages. So you're saying count the pages in the book? Red, page A, word X. And it goes X, Y, Z, A, B, C. What? Dead end, major key. X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Dead end is C. Seen all the signs. Okay. So, I'm guessing this is meaning you reference other books to get other signs. God, this is going to take a lot of me just sitting here staring at this. Dead cases, lavatory, corner cases, patio parlor, library. And then, yeah, the suspect list. One of your suspects is a 12-year-old? Two of your suspects are 12 years old. Yeah, keep left. That doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, this is very weird. There's another sign. Okay. Okay. We're gonna have to dive back into my screenshot notes because we need to see some of the stuff that the detective specifically said in the original history of Orindia. And maybe we can glean something by what they wrote in there, because they have like a little note that they wrote in the version that they checked out from the library. And I want to see that again. God, there's so many screenshots. Here it is. Baron Sinclair, thank you so much for your cooperation with our department in this investigation. We know our presence is never convenient, especially for someone of your social status, so it means all the more that you are not only tolerant, but also willing to aid in our efforts in getting this business done as quickly as possible. We're returning with this letter the book you lent us, though I must confess it was not as much help as I had hoped. Heard your library of rare and restricted books was quite extensive, and I was told by a reliable source that if a first edition and uncensored copy of the history of Erendia could be found, it would likely be found within the Baron's own collection, but perhaps I was misinformed. Part of me thinks that you may have given me a censored copy as a jest, a taste, if you will, for the bureaucrat of their own medicine. If that is the case, then I say well done, fair play, and perhaps on my next visit we'll have a laugh about this after you have given me the actual manuscript. Detective Bon Margol Redguard. So not really much to glean from that. Interesting. And then yeah, we get some stuff out of this. For sure. And yeah, there's changed the ending to political. Here's this. I forget where this is. I think this is the Hovel note. 2 wings, 9 ranks, and then 4 or 5 would be 9 times 2 would be 18 divided by 9 is 2, and then minus 2 is 0, and then it says coincidence. 45, 2, 9, 2. Oh, because 2 wings, 45 rooms, 9 ranks, 2 starting rooms. 45292 is 0. Okay, I mean that's something. I can't think of much else I would want to do right now. Network servers are finally out of cold storage, or at least as many as we could fit into the surrounding walls of the grotto off the East Drive. Last few days have been very busy, but I'm glad I was able to take a short break from gardening to help Randolph install the network. It was, after all, the least he could do, since I was the one who suggested the final location. We decided that we were going to store the 2 unused servers here in Mount Holly's freezer. They should serve as readily available replacements. Denny Ravane, yeah, and then the admin key, Revad. But that's when it's set up. The admin key was changed. So that is not helpful to me. And then there's the binary code that we found. All the science worksheets. And then, yeah, the various passports that you have. And then there's Relman Rune. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we have way too many notes. But I think if we want to accomplish possibly anything else, what I am going to need to do is go to the Sanctum, which I think I can get access to right now. Final Fantasy, a Relman Rune. Honestly, would not be surprised if that was one of the subtitles of one of them. a spin-off or something, because we already have Final Fantasy IV Heroes of Light, all the various Crystal Chronicles titles. You know, there's a lot of Final Fantasy spin-off names. It makes sense. Okay, so reminds me, if I looked around here just to make sure that there's not a... There is Realm Reborn, yeah. Never really got too into Final Fantasy XIV. Still don't know what's going on down there. But we're going to move this. And I'm going to go back here. And when I'm finished with the Sanctum, don't let me forget to come move the minecart back, or I will cry. Openly, on stream, in front of everyone. Okay. Yes, bye-bye. Okay, let's see if with our newfound information we can come to any conclusions on any of these. Gods, I hope this at least gets me like 2 videos. Hey, thank you for that. That's actually very helpful because it marks it as red in the chat, which is nice for my big dumb brain to see. Because I can be like, ah, yes. Okay. So... you. We have a little bit of information about you. I'm gonna have to swap over to my other PC to look at my screenshots once again. But... I feel like we possibly have enough information about this one to maybe say what it is. Maybe, just maybe. Alright. Back to screenshots. So... we want to find... these? Okay. So, and also I want to grab my notes page. Alright. So, the moats for this one I have are those. It says the border is violet, but is that right even? I might have that wrong in my notes, quite frankly. Yeah, I might have that wrong in my notes. We'll see. Yeah, border violet. And I can't imagine 2 of them being the same. Where did I see that information? That I got that the border was violet for this one. First we need to actually find out what it's called as well. Yeah. There's Learn Erosion. And then... yeah, purple, yellow. Okay. So let's find... is that seriously the last screenshot that I have in here? Let's reopen this. Oh yeah, that is like one of the last ones I have there. We need Realm and Rune. Where are my screenshots of Realm and Rune? That's the first version of that. Sightseer's Guide. Here's my Realm and Rune screenshots. Okay. Okay. So, Realm and Rune. Okay. Identify, yeah, the core, the dividing lines, the border. So the core. Okay, so this is Orinda Aries. That is this core, or this name. Orinda Aries. So we have that, and Kororika is the correct name of the heart one. And this is Arch Aries. And then this one is Iraja, which is what I have the language of. So that's all the ones that I have the names of here, because I already knew about Finn Aries. Okay, so the rays. Tiny number of the vine lines will reveal to us what method of transportation. Were they seaside? Okay. So, for this, I need to find out something about the geography and stuff. I wonder if we have a canon pronunciation for Kororika. Yeah, I just kind of am calling it whatever. Could be Kororika, Kororika. Kororika. Kororika? They would... Identifying the... Okay, so yeah. So we need capabilities, we need weather, and then moats. So for some reason, I already have the moats listed for Orinda Aries as poetic. Sigil, past society, can tell the type of society of realm proclaimed. I don't know why for Orinda Aries I have that. Okay. And there's Martial Fog, so that just helped us with, once again, one of the easiest ones. Okay, wait a second. So I have this note that we found in the clock tower. Southward I see a swan, ashen like sands of the shore, carried by westerly winds, rogue like the moon of the north. Eastward I see a crow, dark are the days coming forth. And that is Orinda Aries. So if we see a map now, oh, that's why I have that listed there. Because there's a broken piece and it has the moats listed like that. It has the moats listed like that. It also kind of shows me the pattern for the border. It also kind of shows me the pattern for the border. So if we go back, the border, yeah, that's why I wrote the border down as violet. So pretty much the only thing we're missing for Orinda is the weather. Windy, snow, stormy, rain, heat, fog. I mean, technically, I could cycle through these and just find it out that way. But I would like to search a little bit more to see if we get any indication anywhere of what the weather is like in Orinda. Southwest sees one ashen like carried by westerly winds. Rogue like the moon of the north. Eastward I see a crow, dark days are coming forth. Westerly winds. So yeah, I mean that doesn't really tell me much. Okay, and then we can find out where each location is on the maps by looking at the maps. First crown ruler of Finn Aries. Which city is named after a historical figure? Which realm did not ally with Finn Aries? What flag was to be flown at half-staff after the war? The black flag. 4 out of 6, right? So yeah, they did not do very well there. And then a history is pinned by the victors thing is listed here, which has some symbols. Okay. Weather in Orinda. Where's the exhibit? Wait. Uncle has already agreed to let us use Mount Holly's flexible floor plan for a trial run. Assuming the red print we have secured of the museum's closed exhibit is in fact accurate and up to date. We should begin these trials without delay. If you can, within the next 2 months, fabricate some fiction that might alleviate us of the presence of the service staff. Until we meet on the shore of White Sands. Okay, wait, here we go. Here's something. Arch Aries, okay, and then yeah, there's Fin Aries. Yeah. Geography of Fin Aries. There's that in Reddington. And Araja is to the south of you. Arch Aries is to the north of you. Raven. Okay, there's Kororika, Vera, Morajai. That's where the puzzle boxes come from. I've been saying it like Kororika, but I've also heard Korarika. Yeah, that makes sense. Both of them, I feel. Okay, Orinda is in the middle of Arch and Araja. But that's the third era. No, or Sphere, that's right. Okay. Grotto. Six or 0. There's that thing again. Yeah, and then there's a map of all of this, and it was censored. Yeah, and then it talks about... So it doesn't censor Arch Aries, but... Okay, let's read about this. Considerable means... First era often denoted as a Jera. Regrettably... Nevertheless... Into some leaders that words had one name... to such century... Okay, let's go to the uncensored version of this book. Over here. This is going to be a nightmare to edit. Come on, keep going, keep going. Oh wait, this isn't my new screenshots. That's why I can't find them right now. I gotta move all of these. Cause yeah, I have about 1 billion screenshots that aren't even included in here because they haven't even been put into the folder. Okay, there we go. Now I have all of this. Okay. That's a new clue. We don't need that. Yeah, here we go. Renderia was once the name used to designate the realms of the Eastern Waters. Though the term is no longer employed in the Hall of Politics, nor commonly known to the average citizen, its memory flickers in the hearts of those who hail from the lands that it once encompassed. Many of the older generations in hushed circles still refer to themselves as Orindians. We must not let the flame of our history dwindle into the obscurity of whispered conversations. Okay. Most historians mark... Okay, Jera. Yeah, the first king of Orindia, whose name, Oris, would later grace the burgeoning township in which he was crowned. Surviving records of those bindgrounders are mostly limited to trade agreements and sales receipts. We can deduce from these ledgers that Oris had but one aim: expansion. Territory spread forth from the heart of Oris, and by the end of the 1st century, the black banners of Orindia could be seen fluttering in every hamlet and hostelry. So... let's make sure we write down that Orindia is the ones with the black banners. So that is important. I should move my stream deck up so it's easier to hit that button. From Oris, okay, and there's Castle Orindia. It was the 4th king of Orindia who split this vast domain into 3 equal shares, 3 realms for his 3 children. To the eldest he granted the fields and mountains of his great-grandfather, the middle province and heartspring of the kingdom. The eldest accepted the gift and called his new realm Orinda Ares after the angelic paragon of royalty, Orinda. So, Orinda... it's listed as poetic. What I need is the weather. The fields and mountains is what it is. It was the middle province and heartspring. So, middle, fields, and mountains. Okay, but I need the weather. I need the weather, friends. Youngest he bestowed upon him the realm of Arch Ares, the land of the northern storms. Okay, so Arch, yellow. Okay. Stormy weather. Okay. Okay. Arch Ares is stormy. Which time was not as developed, but a good deal more vast. And to his middle child, his only daughter, he gifted her the southern region of Araja, the mystical realm of the ancestors, a land steeped in tradition, magic, and the poetry of the old tongue. Okay. Tradition, magic, poetry, old tongue. So that's probably why we need to be able to learn Arajan at some point. Sorry, I gotta make sure I'm in a good position for my mic so people can actually hear what I'm saying, but I also need to be able to look down and see what my book. As the second era drew to a close, the 3 sovereign realms had achieved a period of remarkable progress and prosperity. Each of these distinct regions, ruled by their respective sibling monarchs, had blossomed, cultivating the bountiful resources of their lands and developing a unique character and culture that set them apart from each other. Despite these differences, they maintained friendly relations and were known for cooperation. A vast network of railways, linking the northern mountains of Arch Ares to the southern shores of Araja. Should I add shores to Araja? Shores? Don't know if that's important. This development facilitated travel and commerce between the 3 realms, further strengthening their bond and laying the foundation for the promise of a prosperous and bright future. A promise that would, unfortunately, as my readers will soon find, not be kept. Alright. Do I have 2 of those? I do have 2 of those. Let's get rid of that one. 4th era. As the kingdoms of Orinda Ares entered the 4th era, a different kind of ruler took the reins. King Desolate III was a king who listened to the voices of all his subjects. He was a king who was often seen among the people eating, drinking, and conversing. But the masses as well, who could scarce believe that they, as peasantry, would ever sup at the crown. King of the people, Desolitz was renowned as, and it was therefore a surprise to no one when he made the decision to move the capital from the secluded mountains of Reddington to the public stage of Oris. Okay. Leaving castle and court behind, the people were overjoyed by this choice, and the city welcomed their king with open arms and great fanfare, yet not all were swayed. There were those that viewed the king's conduct to be unbecoming of his station, and were wary of how readily he could be persuaded by the tears and tales of the common folk. These dissenting voices planted a seed of discontent which took root in the lawns and gardens of the nobles of Fynn. As I have been instructed to say, the grand city of Fynn. Okay. Dissent in Fynn. Hated People's King. Okay. That's a good. We should put a stream marker for that. The brutality of the pacification of Fynn did not go unnoticed. As sympathy for the city surged, allies came forth to lend support. Among them was the general of the Northern Regiment, who, sickened by the barbaric actions of the other battalions, joined forces with Prince Learson to form a formidable army. Together they leveraged their political influence and favors to persuade the nearby realms of Arch, Airy, and Nuance to join their cause. Who in the Nine Hells is Nuance? However, even with the tide turning in their favor, victory did not come easy. The War of the Fifth Era lasted 22 long years and saw buried 1 in every 3 men. Oris had fallen, and with it, the realm. The black flags that had flown for 5 eras were buried, and in their place, red banners were hoisted in honor of the fallen of Fynn. The few remaining members of the former royal family fled in fear of their lives to the south, forever exiled. Okay. So let's connect these two. Black flags. 1. The battle took down red. Okay. God, this must be thrilling. Okay, and then we get to the Curse of Blackbridge. Wait, did I not get the... No! It says next page, but I don't have a screenshot after that. Did I not get the final page of the... Let's go to the other version of the book. I don't think I screenshotted the final pages. So I might have to order the book again. If I can get back to my notes on that particular one. Oh my god, how far back do I have to go to? Here we go. Yeah, so I totally skipped the Era of Ruin. I didn't take screenshots of these. Thankfully, the king died on the next day. Learson declared himself the true monarch. The declaration was declared by, due to the fact it showed little of his virtues. Civil war seemed inevitable. Yeah, the Finnsurrection. The gardens of Fynn were turned into a battlefield. Okay, so no, I skipped a page. Oh, but then, okay, so I skipped this page, which luckily is fine because there's no censoring on it. Yeah. Okay, so I skipped this page. We need that page. Current era. Today, the realms inherited by the 3 Fennaries, Archaries, and Araja once again stand as allies. Though the distance between our peoples has grown, our connection to this land remains strong as ever. The spruce and birch that span across our realm serve as a constant reminder that we all share a common past. For this is, despite everything else, a land rich in history, land of myth and wonder, a land that sprung forth the greatest empire the world has ever known, and a land of our fathers, of our mothers, and of our children. Okay, so yeah, I'm missing like 2 pages that I didn't get screenshots of from that book. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do with the information that I have. So, I didn't find much about the potential type of weather for Orvinda Aries. But we will go in here anyway. And I think we might be able to process of elimination it. Because I know that... Okay, so I do have to remember how to do this as well. So this one turns the amount of rays, but also the border. So this one turns rays and border. There's this, which just turns the border. There's this, which changes what type of rays there are, but once again, also the border. And then there's you, which just changes the symbol, which I think is fine. So the symbol is the poetry one, which is just flowers. As soon as I find it, there they are. So that one is that. It's poetic. So next should be this, I think. Then we do that. Yeah, okay. So border, violet, moats. Oh shit. I don't think I have what this is. Wait, this is weather, right? Yeah, weather is the one that I don't know. Oh, but I also don't know. So no, we can't do this one. I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about it. I don't think. We know the color of the border, and we know the moats. We know its location, and we know it has fields and mountains. But I don't think I can actually solve what it is with that. We just know it's the middle bit. I need to get back to Realm and Rune notes to see what exactly is here. Realm and Rune, Realm and Rune. God, I have so many notes. This game is crazy. Where's my Realm and Rune? There it is. Okay. So the core we know. The Rays. Were they a seaside kingdom that relied on ships, or a desert domain that might have employed camels? Alright. Ship routes, seaports, roads, streets, carriages. Horseback, rough trails, train system. Wait, we know they use a train system. Because it said in that era they got trains. It said in the book. Yeah. It said in the book that all 3 of these got railways. Track-based travel. So I think we have that. Actually, because based off of the history book that we read, it said that they had those things. Yeah. what was it? The second era? No, third era. The sibling monarchs managed to maintain friendly relations throughout their lives and were known for their cooperation. The succeeding generation of their heirs continued that tradition, was defined by the construction of a vast network of railways that spanned the length and breadth, linking the northern mountains of Arch Ares to the southern shores of Araja. So that might mean that all three of them use railroads. Fin Ares, Araja, and Orinda all use railroads? Possibly? Because it specifically mentions that. It said they had a vast network of them. So that checks out to me. Okay, we'll try that. And then I need more look at Realm and Rune, because possibly what we have can tell us what we need here. Weather. A lack of unusual or harsh weather and normal temperatures. Foggy. Heat. Rainy. Stormy is for Fin Ares. Falling circles, colder realms in which snow, windy weather. Raised buckling under the high winds. So, in our note we found about Orinda, it does mention winds a lot. So maybe Orinda is windy? Okay, let's try that. Maybe they're windy. They might be really heckin' windy. Okay. Let's see. So the motes are correct. We just need to fill in this. Yes. And it was 3 for the railway system, I believe. So, whoops, did not mean to do that. That was my mistake. I apologize. So we flip that around. So we get back to those, because you're poetic. Now, we turn you. Wind. That's good. So these two, now correct. Now, we turn you. Yeah. Until we have what I need, which I think is that, the 3. 3, windy, and now we just need to get this one, which is violets, which is like some lines. This one. Incorrect. Damn it. So I'm thinking that means windy is not correct, or railroads isn't correct. Let me just make sure with our book over here that I had the right like rays and everything, but those look like the windy ones. And then train system is, yeah, 1 in the middle. It's like a Y, basically. It's a Y shape. The only other thing I would venture to try is, let me also make sure I got the border right. So violet, yeah, that's violet. That's violet border. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, the only other thing I think I would want to try is to see if the weather is maybe straight lines instead. Because that note mentions wind a lot, but it could be going for something else. Could be. The straight lines was actually what I wanted right there. Actually. Just the totally boring straight lines. Yeah, and then I just want to swap you around to this one. No. Okay. So we do not have what we need for Orinda. Okay. We could try Finaries. It looks like I have 3 things for them. I know they have stormy weather. Do we even have Finaries unlocked? I don't know that we do. I know that they have stormy weather. They might use railroads because it's specifically mentioned. And it's yellow. So we're missing weather, railroads. We're missing their moats. For what kind of place Finaries is, like what they're known for. I mean, I guess before I move from here, let's just even go see if we even have Finaries unlocked. I do. Or not Finaries. Archaries. Finaries is the one we've already done. I need moats, though. I need something that tells me what Archaries is like. So, let me look at my notes for that really quick. Again. Okay. This is proving to be a struggle. It's also got to be completely nonsensical to engineering-driven culture with a focus on manufacturing. Martial, militaristic nation engaging in generation-spanning wars and heated arguments. Harvest and farming-based society and culture. Okay. We definitely need to go back to the history book. City, how long did the War of the Fifth? Which realm did not ally with Finaries during the war? Which flag was forbidden to be flown at half-mast? Yeah. And then there's the 2 fighting. And then yeah, there's just logos. Oh, there they are tearing up the railways. This is on the slideshow in the whatchamacallit. So that may be what changed. Yeah, they tore up the railways at some point. Oh, and in this picture they have like blimps? Like zeppelins? It's showing? Did they start using aerial transportation at some point? Okay. Okay, that's interesting to note from that. Which house is toward the east? I will swim at dawn. I won't read at night. The branches of the tree are old. God, the Arajan vocabulary is going to be so intimidating. I don't think that's important. 8 realms in 8 months. First, okay, here's the thing. Second's locked tight here on the furthest rank. Okay, so locked tight in the vault of a bank. We've got that one. Third is high up among the clocks. The fourth down below beneath all the docks. We got that one. Held by a king on his throne is an station left by one of your own. That might be the Mechanarian. The 7th is major if you draft it quite late. So that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, no, I was counting wrong. So we're missing the one that's held by a king on his throne. And we're missing the one that is in a station left by one of your own. And we're missing the one that's high up among the clocks. The only problem is major, 4th below the docks. Locked tight in the vault of a bank. Found here on the furthest rank. Because I got one in the Mechanarium, right? There wasn't a Sanctum key in one of the vaults we got, were there? I don't remember getting a Sanctum key in there. But none of these mention the Mechanarium. Unless it's the station. So maybe there's one still hiding in the vault that a vault of the bank that I haven't gotten yet? Weird. Okay, I really need to find storms. Wild and Untamed expansion. Wild and Archaeries used to be a wild and untamed expanse. And Araja was steeped in tradition, magic, and poetry. Purple, tradition, magic, poetry, shores. Yeah, and then they made the railways, but... Move the capital from the secluded mountains of Reddington to the public stage of Horus. Unnoticed. Yeah, this is a wee bit of a struggle. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm gleaning any more from this right now. I have a lot of stuff, but I don't think I'm getting anything else out of this right now. I had the idea that maybe I could have solved one of them, but I'm too stupid to see something. Or I just don't have enough information yet. Clearly, I need to get 1 or 2 of the books from the library again, because I am missing some screenshots of those. I might try to, in the future, move my screenshots before I stream this again over to this PC, so maybe I can actually show looking at the screenshots, I guess. Because right now it's a little nonsensical when I'm just kind of sitting there reading them off. Oh, that's weird. But yeah, I think my brain has turned off for the moment. I think it has. So we'll probably stop there for tonight. Maybe that will be an episode or two.